Okay, so let's talk about where I got this and how I made it. I downloaded the files for this hammer off of the DO3D website. They are a website that sells and makes a lot of 3D models, and luckily this was free, so I didn't have to pay a penny for it. I will have a link to the exact files and to the website in the description below. I kind of downloaded these files on a whim, and I wasn't really thinking about making this into a project, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I think it looks awesome. The hammer is made of 16 separate parts, each individually printed on a 3D printer in PLA filament. And one thing I want to mention right off the bat is that all the parts of this hammer were printed in 0.12 millimeter layer height. So I usually don't print in 0.12, it's usually 0.28 because I usually go through a sanding process and do priming, and it's this whole thing. I don't really care about the layer thickness. However, with this, there is so much detail that I couldn't actually really sand the part in post-processing. So I printed this in the smallest layer line that I could so that I could skip the initial sanding and go right to priming. After initial priming, I sanded lightly with 240 grit sandpaper, followed by another coat of priming, and then sanding with 600 grit sandpaper. You're gonna wanna make sure that when you're sanding, you don't sand too hard because you'll get rid of all these beautiful details, which obviously we don't want to get rid of. And then after sanding with 600 grit sandpaper, we can go right to painting. All the metallic parts were covered in a metallic aluminum paint. And then after that, they were spritzed with a black metallic paint, but it was just lightly applied to give it that kind of textured metallic look. The handle was painted with a dark brown to mimic the look of wood, and that was that. Painting was done. After initial painting, the most exciting part of the build could be done, which was painting all these details gold. Usually I do all my detailing with acrylic paint, but I ended up using a gold Sharpie, and oh my gosh, this was a lifesaver. It went on really thick and it's already in a pen form, so it was super easy to apply and it didn't take long at all. And I think the details turned out awesome. After detailing with the metallic Sharpie, all the parts were put together using contact cement and super glue. One thing I really liked about this model is that everything fit together so well. I didn't have to sand anything or take a soldering iron to modify anything. Things fit together just right off the print bed, which was amazing. Usually with models like this, I have to tweak some things or modify some edges for things to be able to fit properly, but this, it didn't. So once again, I highly recommend the DO3D website for files. So with this design, the handle and part of the hammerhead are actually hollow. So what I did was I took some aluminum rods and I actually fed that aluminum rod through the handle to give it some extra stability. I covered the aluminum rod in contact cement and slid that through both portions of the handle and into the hammerhead, so that when I'm actually swinging the hammer, the handle doesn't come apart from the hammerhead or the handle doesn't break in two. After everything was put together, I used a satin clear coat to coat the entire hammer, and it came out looking like this. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below, and please give my video a like and consider subscribing to my channel for more content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.